I'm gonna go ahead and call our meeting to order, please. And if we can start with a moment of silence. And if we can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just as a reminder, if you happen to have a cell phone on you, please make sure it's off or on silent. Interim city clerk, will you take roll call for us, please?
Councilmember Williams,
Brother.
Reed,
Here.
Stewart,
Here.
Frost,
Here.
Davis,
Here.
French,
Here.
Mayor Snyder.
Here. I would like to make a motion to approve of the agenda with an addition under presentations. Dr. Webster from Alvin College is with us this evening, and he would like to say a few words. So I'd like to make an amendment to allow him to do that under presentations.
Second. Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Wonderful. So we will start off with our presentations with Mr. Rod Otten with an update from the Calhoun County Services.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Rod, I'm just gonna make this one comment. When you are up at the podium speaking or even giving a public comment, please make sure that you are saying it in a way that people behind you can hear.
Okay.
I think there's gonna be an issue with the amount of people in here, being able to hear what the presenters are presenting.
Sure, very good. Well, maybe I can even kind of do a side thing like this.
Yes.
Very
Yeah.
good. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be able to provide an update to you as it relates to Calhoun County Senior Services. In particular, we want to not only share some of the good work being done through not only the funds that we receive through senior millage, but the good work our providers doing on behalf of these funds. Additionally, I want to share some of the programs that are coming up and also some of the work being done, especially around things like food insecurity and so on, but I will be concise in my remarks. First of all, just to share with you some statistics, last year, in terms of the services provided in Albion through senior millage, we did just over 700 services for older adults in the city, which we're proud of, and we continue to look for ways that we can better serve older adults in the city. And one of the things that I want to do as I leave tonight is provide an offer that I would like to come over and meet with each of you at some point, just to learn how we can better serve older adults in the city. Each of you have your own precincts in the areas that you work in. We really are trying to be, in addition to serving all the townships and cities in the county, we want to serve the neighborhoods as well and make sure that we're understanding the needs there, so that as we're having these conversations, that we're doing it in a collaborative way. So in terms of the number of services provided, that's a little bit there. Additionally, we this past year, we've provided 4 different mini grants to support Albion types of programs and services. We continue to provide, we continue to have senior ambassadors in Albion who are supporting us and supporting other older adults in the city in terms of their volunteer services, and we really appreciate them. I want to take a minute to acknowledge 2 people. One, Tom Hunsdorfer is here in the back. Tom provided great leadership to Senior Millage Allocation Committee for many years. Came off, we call it SMAC this past year, but we really appreciate the leadership and service he provided, not only on behalf of the county, but also the city. Also want to acknowledge Willie Tabb. Willie's also provided many years of service to the county, does a terrific job in serving, again, in that capacity. A couple other quick things too. We are looking for other senior ambassadors. So if you know a person who would like to, as a volunteer, be trained to work with older adults in the city, we would love to be able to work with them. My staff does the training, would be happy to do that. Feel free to contact us at the office and we'd be happy to come over. Also, last year, we received a $300,000 grant from the Tolling Foundation to focus on a collaborative effort to address food insecurity in older adults in Calhoun County. We've begun to work on that, and right now, in the first part of this, in the first phase, we're focused on senior housing and looking at some of the rural communities in terms of providing, again, identifying older adults who are both food and transportation insecure, and ensuring that they have better access to not just food in general, but healthy food. So we have a number of partners that we're working with on that. And we want to, just as we've done in years past, as far as having different food activities, both in Albion, but around the county, we want to continue to engage, again, citizens in terms of how do we better support older adults who are experiencing food insecurity. So we're working with Peabody Mathers, and, to be able to start having an in-house food pantry as well as mobile food pantry to bring fruit and vegetables on a monthly basis. We're working with one of our partners, Sprout, to be able to do those services. Just a couple other quick things here, just a couple things coming up I want to make you aware of. And if you have any ideas, every year we do the Joanne Conkle Leadership and Volunteer Award. Again, if you know somebody in the community that's doing a great job or has done a great job in serving older adults, either as a leader or as a volunteer, we want to recognize them. So in September, every September, we do this. And again, it's an opportunity to recognize both a leader and a volunteer in the county who has done an outstanding job supporting older adults. So that's coming up. Please let us know if you have any ideas around that. Conscious Senior Fair is coming up in October. We look forward to seeing some of our older adults and others there. And then, of course, just a reminder, in about a couple of weeks, we've got the Senior Day at the fair, at the county fairgrounds, for older adults. It's a wonderful time in terms of older adults coming down, out providing those services. So I know I was quick, lots of things to share, but we really appreciate the partnerships that we enjoy with Albion, City of Albion leadership and residents. And we want to be able to, again, focus on the specific needs here in City of Albion for older adults and working together to address those. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Rod, do we still need a representative from the community to sit on the millage board?
We would love to get another nomination. We have, obviously, when Tom left, we still have that vacant slot there. So if you know of somebody who might be interested in serving on Senior Millage Allocation Committee, we would love to have that submitted to us.
Just want to give that flag. Do we have any questions for Mr. Rod?
Just one question regarding the food insecurity. You mentioned Peabody.
Yeah.
Does that include Maple Grove and the other housing facilities as well?
It does. We've had a little delay in getting a memorandum of understanding with them because of some availability issues.
Administration, yes.
So we do have a memorandum in place with the Albion Housing Commission.
Okay.
We're trying to get one in place for Maple Grove. So actually, from a county perspective, the MOUs are going to the county at the next meeting to be approved. Once that happens, we can begin the work. So.
Councilman Williams?
Yeah, thank you. Rod, the help with the healthy food, it extends past people that live in public housing, right?
Correct. This is the first phase.
Gotcha.
We're gonna continue our focus. We'll go beyond that into rural communities as well. Part of this is a township-based initiative where we're identifying older adults who are both experiencing both food and transportation insecurity, working closely with South Michigan Food Bank, creating volunteer supports township by township to be able to create the delivery system needed to do that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Rod? Wonderful. Thank you so much for being with us. this
Thank you
evening.
much. I appreciate it.
And next we'll have Dr. Webster come on up. Dr. Webster, if you could do the same kind of.
Yeah, I'll try that.
Yeah.
Try to pivot here a little bit. For those that don't know me, my name is Wayne Webster. I'm president of Albion College. I want to take this opportunity to provide some important context and facts surrounding Albion College's role in the planned transfer of former Washington Gardner School to the Community Housing Network. When I arrived in July of 2023, the college's financial position, specifically for the prior fiscal year FY23, was a surprise to many, including me.
It is immediately clear that action was needed to ensure Albion's sustainability, and we launched a strategic plan, the pathway forward, focused on four key goals: reducing costs, increasing revenue, reimagining the liberal arts to create distinctiveness, and reducing our real estate footprint to sharpen our focus on our core mission. This plan has been shared transparently across campus and with our wider constituencies, and that is not new information. As part of the plan, the college has sold several properties in Albion. In each case, we've seen private investment return these buildings to productive use. Examples include Belmont Manor, the two properties west of Washington Gardner on Michigan Avenue, and the duplex on 400th block of Cass Street, once deteriorating, now revitalized and a benefit to the community again. Washington Gardner is next. It has sat largely vacant for more than 15 years and has cost the college between $200,000 and $300,000 annually in utilities and insurance since acquiring it in 2011. An expense that in hindsight was never truly sustainable. The building needed a future that served the community, not just a past. Our first step was to work with Congressman Walberg and local partners, including the city, school district, community foundation, and Boys and Girls Club, to go through the legislative process to redirect a $3.2 million HUD grant originally earmarked for this building to somewhere else. And after a year of lobbying, we succeeded. Those funds, along with the Nicola grant, are now being invested in Victory Park, Ketchum Field, and other shared use spaces, creating tangible community benefit. At the same time, we began to seek a partner to bring back purpose to Washington Gardner that will benefit the community. Through open and candid conversations, the idea of affordable housing with a focus on seniors emerged. This would enable Albion's residents to age in place affordably, free of existing housing stock, and bring additional community programming to the site through Zero Day and other organizations. When the plan was announced in November of 2023, there was no evident pushback. Though the lead developer has shifted to community housing network, the core goals remain to preserve a vacant and deteriorating important structure, reduce the college's ongoing expenses, and meet a clear community need by providing more affordable housing options. While recent adjustments in tax credit availability have broadened the focus beyond exclusively senior housing to broader mixed income housing, the project's impact remains meaningful and necessary. Today, the site generates no tax revenue. If the building were to suffer storm or fire damage and had to be demolished, it would still generate no revenue. I don't agree with the argument that this project is problematic because it doesn't contribute tax revenue when compared to the status quo, which is a vacant tax exempt structure. Redevelopment of Washington Gardner requires substantial investment, likely over $25 million, and a partner with the resources and experience to deliver. It is clear to me the only kind of investment that would generate enough revenue to make it possible and sustainable is affordable housing. Finding a partner with the proven experience necessary to undertake this project has taken 2 years and much effort. We now have a partner in Community Housing Network with whom we can place confidence, whose track record across the state speaks for itself, and I think it's important to give us tools needed to make this project possible. So as I close, I want to provide a brief and related update in the college's Pathway Forward plan and directly address a recent wave of social media posts and opinion letters that began this spring questioning Albion's pathway and financial health. Facts presented without proper context can be as deceptive as outright falsehoods, and that's the case here. The balance sheet challenges referenced occurred in fiscal year 2023. We are now operating in fiscal year 2026. Those challenges were acknowledged early and clearly, both internally and externally, and in response, we've made bold decisions. We've reduced our operating costs by $6 million annually, with further steps underway through continued conversation using internal and external resources. We've grown revenue by reducing our discount rate by 5 percentage points over 2 admission cycles, and have met or exceeded enrollment revenue goals in both years. Philanthropic giving increased 50% this last year compared to my first year. Our accreditor, the Higher Learning Commission, has visited twice since I arrived, and both times reviewers recognized us as a turnaround in the making. And just this spring, we were officially removed from HLC's financial distress watch list. This progress is real. It's been shared widely. It is not news. Albion College is moving forward, and I'm proud of the collective work of our entire campus and grateful for the support of the city. And yet, misinformation threatens to undo hard-won momentum. And inaccurate or outdated claims, especially when amplified online, are not harmless. Even if one student chooses another college, when a prospective employee turns down a position, where one donor walks away based on misrepresentation, the harm is real, not just to the college, but to Albion itself. So I thank you for the opportunity to share these perspectives and background. Certainly, if you have questions for me now or at any time, I'd be welcome the opportunity to continue conversation and dialogue. Thank you.
Do we have any questions for Dr. Webster? Yes, Councilman Williams.
I have a question, and thank you, Dr. Webster, for, being here today. Appreciate it. You all are doing a market rate development in the downtown area. Was making Washington Gardner affordable something that you thought of in consideration to the fact that you were doing, market rate housing downtown?
We're actually involved with two market rate developments, prospective developments. One is the downtown Billy Albion plan, in which the college is just an investor, although certainly those who were involved with ARC certainly have college ties. The other one is conversations with Brio, or now it's, I think, used to be called Methodist Retirement Communities, but they have an option of purchasing property from us by Belmont. And they are looking at that as well. So those are two market rate options we are considering in addition to this.
So you're doing market rate downtown, you're doing market rate senior housing, and then now you're considering doing, you're supporting
Yeah.
affordable housing.
Yeah, just to be clear, the college role is to not directly do the development, but certainly we own the land, or we are involved in investing in some of the spaces that will be impacted.
Hire the professionals, right?
That's right.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions for Dr. Webster?
Just I have a
Councilman Davis.
question. Thank you. In terms of the diversity in the housing stock, so to speak, so is the intention to have market rate as well as affordable housing in this particular complex?
I believe it's mixed income.
It is, no market.
And that's where the tax credits come in, where they're being mixed income, not low income, mixed income.
Mixed income, not low income, mixed income.
Correct.
Any other questions for Dr. Webster? Well, Dr. Webster, thank you for taking the time to be with us, to give us that information. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
All right. Next, I will go ahead and open up our public hearing for the consideration of establishing a commercial redevelopment district for 205 Cass Street. I'll go ahead and open that up at 7:18 p.m. If there's anybody here within that district, which I think we said it was only one business in the district.
Okay.
All right,
Is it?
it's
Yes,
for, yeah, but it's just for the people who are in the district.
No.
Anybody
Yeah,
Oh.
that's a public
Oh.
hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a public hearing. So the question I have is that the standard way in which the city usually does it? Just designate one business in the district, or, usually you have if we have, you do an assessment district with multiple areas. I'm just curious about whoever has expertise on that. Is that the standard thing to do, just to designate one area? One unit or one parcel, whatever, as a district? So, I mean, you can answer that during discussion, but that's my question. Thank you.
Would anybody else like to stand and address council? Right, seeing no movement, I will go ahead and close the public hearing at 7:20 p.m. Next, we are asked to approve of resolution 2025-09 to establish that district. We have a motion to approve.
Support.
Attorney Harkness.
So like we talked about on the work session, this is kind of step one in this process to establish a commercial redevelopment district. Assuming that a commercial redevelopment district is established, the owner of the property would then apply to the city for an exemption certificate. I think it's important for the city not to confuse the certificate, the exemption certificate itself with the establishment of the district. The establishment of the district has no time frame associated with it. Once we establish it, it will exist forever. It's the exemption certificate that would have a duration associated with it. So in any event, this is specifically for 205. I'm sorry, I forgot the West Cass. Yeah, it is Cass Street. The statute specifically provides that a commercial redevelopment district can consist of one or more parcels, so it can be as few as one, or it can be more than that. In this particular case, it's just this particular address. It has to be obsolete commercial property or vacant land that was at one point developed commercial property zoned commercial prior to, at least 3 years prior to 1978, which it has been. So in this case, the particular property meets the criteria to fall within a commercial redevelopment district, assuming the council establishes the commercial redevelopment district. The owner of the property, it's presumed, will approach the city with an application for an exemption certificate, which would provide them with certain tax benefits to the property. And that would be for 12 years.
Any questions for Attorney Harkness? Or for Tom French?
And you need the first to get the second.
You can't apply for an exemption certificate if there isn't a district established. Council has to establish a district by resolution first. And it's not a guarantee that the exemption certificate will obviously be approved, but it is step one in the process.
Any other questions for Attorney Harkness? Assistant City Clerk?
Councilmember Williams,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Brock,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Mayor Snyder.
Yes. Public comments. If there's anybody in the gallery that would like to stand and address council in regards to an agenda item, you may do so at this time. Just come forth, give us your name, address, and 3 minutes is yours.
Marcola Lawler, 918 North Berrien Street. I'm here to talk about today, about the well-being of others and the quality of life, showing humanity. I was told that, people in my precinct were notified or talked to about this project. I have not seen anyone, until a couple weeks ago, talked about this project. If something is not developed here at the Washington Gardner, it will be another blighted area in the 4th precinct. We just tore down a couple years ago, the Union Steel building. So we do not want another blighted area. I also want to know, did we check with anybody on Huron Street or Michigan Ave or any side of Berrien Street? Because they are the properties that surround, they're the streets that surrounds this certain property. We missed out on $1 million on the census because we didn't have enough people living in Albion. This will bring people to Albion so that we don't miss out on the opportunity again. The housing units are aimed at working individuals earning around Albion's median income, not outsiders, not giveaways. This development aligns with Albion's income data and helps solve our housing affordability gap. Over 37% of renters in Albion are cost burdened. This project directly addresses that need. This is not just affordable housing, it's smart community development. The project will help reduce housing instability for people who already work and contribute here, people like me. Affordable, well-managed housing leads to stronger, more stable neighborhoods. This kind of investment supports economic growth, school stability, and local business health. Blocking this development only delays progress that Albion clearly needs. Thank you so much.
Garrett Brown, so my remarks are basically kind of higher level.
Garrett, can you give us your address?
Garrett Brown, 1016 South Superior Street. So my remarks are a little bit higher level. And it's been a concern since, you know, the 2020 census came out. So Albion has been losing population, obviously. And that factors in, you know, to federal funding and things like that. But then also that's in the context of the entire state having a depopulation crisis, right? So people are leaving from rural areas that Albion is kind of situated in to urban areas, right? There are more deaths in the county than births, right? So the concern that I have is that anything, obviously, we don't have a community school district here, but anything that could support people who are here, I think we should do, because my concern is that not being a school district, locally controlled school district here, if, you know, there's been kind of discussion in, I guess, the public square now in the newspapers about the health of our largest employer in the community, what happens there. I'm not really sure what, how the city is going to sustain itself if we don't have opportunities for a spectrum of different residents to be here. Because again, if our thing is to, and I know, you know, in conversations with council members in the past, I know there are people in the community who feel like affordable housing is like the bane of the city, and that's really not the issue. The reason why that's existed here is because when the city was growing, they couldn't keep up with the housing needs. They put up little shack towns and stuff like that. People weren't living on it. That was like for the rich, you know, the well-to-do. So I think the issue is not that, it's the issue that the city really probably for a generation really failed to do economic development, to really need to make sure that we're not repeating the same things we do, which is like basically we rally against certain things which could be done. I mean, should be done, because I know that even one of the larger housing units or places in your precinct, Ms. Reed's precinct, I think Oak Meadows, like, you have places where are basically removing affordable housing, right? So I think for the blight issue, for the people want to be here, allowing them to stay here, that's the reason why these things should kind of be addressed. And then, like I said, especially the blight issue, because I think as Mr. Pasek said in the post, like, we don't want another Austin school or Dalrymple right on Michigan Ave. So I think that the city really should consider that. So thank you.
Juanita Solis Hitter, 1211 Edward Street. I'm in agreement with all these people that are talking about, you know, moving forward. We want to keep people in Albion. We want to invite people to live and stay in Albion. We already have a building and a company that's willing to put the money into saving that building and having all this affordable housing for other people. So I just want to say that I'm in support of this program.
Good evening. I think I can speak loud enough so everybody can hear me. Start me on the home. I've been here all my life. My name is Tim Kurtz. I live at 208 Irwin Avenue, born at 208 Gale Street, retired from the post office at 208 Howard Road. So I'm doing all right. I want to stand in support of the program at Washington Junior High School, a school that I went to that I have fond memories of, thinking about Mr. McGorbley. Some of you might remember that name, growing up in that school. And I strongly support that we go into whatever is necessary to provide affordable housing. And I want to touch real quickly on titles right now. We have terms like affordable housing shooting around and low income housing shooting around. And usually what happens, people put faces on those and begin to say, when they say low income, they have a face in their mind of what that who qualifies for low income housing. I want to dispel that. It's people housing. It's housing that's requiring people a place, providing a place for people to live. Albion is in a unique position. We've lost a lot of our populace. We've lost a lot of people. But right now, you look at our median income is about $40,000 a year. That's the median income for a person in Albion. And what makes that even more unique is that we have a 27% poverty rate, which means if you do the balance, that the higher part of the spectrum is on the low end. So we definitely need housing for low, moderate income family. And so we need to think about that. We need to begin to understand that the only way we're going to do that is when we have opportunities. Now, they say that there's no, I heard Dr. Webster say that there was no taxes being paid on that right now. Well, think about it. When somebody comes in, it reminds me of the song by Billy Preston, nothing for nothing leaves nothing. So when you have something that's going to add something, you ought to be applauding it and saying, thank you that we have this coming in. So I support this. I really believe that going forward, we need to be thinking about this. $40,000 a year is the average, is the median income for somebody here in Albion. If you were to take that and use banking criteria for a mortgage, the 2836, some of you might be familiar with that terminology. That means a $40,000 a year person can only afford a $113,000 mortgage, which is about $100,000 less from a house that's being sold on Fifth Street right now. So you begin to see the picture. If you take that $40,000 and make it into rent, it is about 60% of what the median rent is for a house, for an apartment of that same size. So we need to provide affordable housing. And it also provides a bridge for people to leave from a lower income status. We're tearing down houses, but we're not leaving anything in their places. So it allows them to be able to move from where they are to where they need to be. I urge you to support yes. I can't do the roll call vote, but if I could, I'd say yes, 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 all the way around the room. And I think you should be voting yes tonight. Thank you.
How you doing? My name is Renald Atchison, and I reside at 637 Sycamore Street, Apartment 1, Precinct 3. And I got a lot of people behind me that support this program, housing, affordable housing. But we don't have any guidance. Nobody communicating with us. We don't have any, we don't know about it. Tonight, I could have so many people here to support this program, but it's not, nobody communicating with us. And I think this is in Albion, Michigan. I'm a native of 43 years. I've been here 43 years. And I came back home as a single father because Albion is my home. And I wanted my son to be part of Albion. But when I first moved back, it was nowhere for us to go. Nowhere. I got in touch with Albion Housing Commission, and they made it comfortable for me and my son to have somewhere to stay. That's the only thing I feel right now Albion has to go for, Albion Housing Commission. And I think this program right here is gonna better Albion. It's gonna bring people into Albion. We got Blue Oval coming, and I think this is a good thing for Albion right now. Y'all have a blessed day.
Hustle, Tom.
Well, I'm Mitchell Vaughn, I live in precinct 4, 921 North Barrier. I wasn't gonna say anything because I know how all this stuff goes. I've been in it long enough to know. And as a property owner there, I know that my value of my home could be impacted or not. But research shows that it has low value in homes. But what's at stake here is, see, I was always taught, you treat the janitor like the CEO. It takes all kind of people to make the world go around. So these different people that we're saying are low income or affordable housing, they're working people, they pay their taxes, they're part of this economy. Let's build something out, because we talk out of both sides of our mouth here now. We say one thing, but if you read between the lines, you have that's red tape with all these rental certifications. You have corporations and all the big money players. Some of them are you, own all the houses, right? So if you starve out the economy, if you buy up all the houses, you put all this red tape for rental certifications, what you got left? And then you don't want to take the whatever the percentage is coming in when there's nothing being done to it. It's a no-brainer. It's common sense. Our roads are bad. What you call it? I can't even think of the word. The infrastructure. Come on. But If you follow the money, you will understand that this town does not give back to the working people. And you see it at every level of the world. Let's keep them in chaos. Let's keep them divided. Let's keep their attention somewhere else, and let's run the system through them. I've seen it done over and over. I'm in the process of wanting to be selling my home. I don't care what it does. I could lose, or I'm not gonna lose because I own. But what I'm telling you is that I came up to Lincolnshire Housing. I worked myself up through the ranks to buy my home. That's the model, right? You get your first home, then you double up and get a bigger one, right? You ain't even get, right? What is affordable housing? You're getting some kind of subsidy from the government, I know, right? You take whatever percentage the company is coming in, you get the health and wellness going, you collaborate with Albion College, you make it work. You ain't doing nothing else, right? So we like to knee-jerk, right? We have something right here before us. There's no risk here. What are you doing with the building? Nothing. I ride past it every day. They don't even do the cover shots down there anymore. Nothing is being done. And furthermore, if it was gifted to Albion College, they should be able to do whatever they want to with it. They paid the bills, right? So go ahead and approve this. Just do the right thing. City manager, I've not had a chance to meet you. But look, your job is to provide housing, I'm sure somewhere in the strategic plan. Stick up, influence the process, influence it, right? This is housing. I don't care about all the other stuff because y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do. You already shut the schools down. My time is up. The school was strategically shut down. No support, none of that. And here we are. Who will want to move here? We can make it right now. Let's bring our schools back as well. Let's think, people. But they want to keep y'all in chaos. They want to keep y'all confused and bound up.
Quick, Tom, quick. Run.
Remember, I'm a person of a certain age.
Something could happen.
Tom Hunsdorfer, 803 South Superior Street. Appreciate the opportunity to speak with you all tonight, and I don't envy you the decision you have before you, but it's really important, and I think the 7 of you all care deeply about this community, and you will make the best decision you can. So, and I'm going to do something really risky. I'm going to slightly contradict Pastor Kurtz's statistic there, just quickly. A few numbers. In Calhoun County, the median household income is $57,000. In Battle Creek, which is the second most poor community in the county, it's $51,700. And in Albion, the median household income is $40,000. But the median per capita income, one person in Albion, is just a little over $19,000. Battle Creek, again, the second poorest community, is all the way at 33,200. So compared to Battle Creek, Albion has much more serious poverty challenges. The median house value in Battle Creek is $151,000. In Albion, it's $91,000. As Pastor Kurtz indicated, the percent below poverty in Battle Creek, 14%, in Albion, it's 27%. We really do have challenges that have to do with income, with poverty. And I think poverty affects all aspects of our community life. I was on the school board from 04 to 08 when we were having to make hard decisions about which school buildings would be closed. And even though I am not a wildcat for life, I came here tonight with a lifelong wildcat, and I learned about the emotional importance of that building to this community. It was really hard as we wrestled with, well, do we close an elementary school? Do we close that? It was hard. I think whatever is decided about the building, I think it's important that we take some urgency at addressing as a whole community the issue of poverty in town. I think some sort of special task force with city council, the EDC representation, with business leaders, with Albion College, churches, schools, other organizations, but something new that really has a sense of urgency about it, because we are in such a different place than every other community in the county. And it limits our ability to develop new businesses in the downtown. We don't have that many people who have spendable dollars. So I think if whatever the vote is tonight, that the council consider taking the lead on some new initiative that brings a coalition of people from all walks of Albion together to say, is there something else we can be doing about poverty? Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
There's only two opinions, the wrong one and mine.
Pass it, just pass it.
Good evening, Alex Harris, 501 Bidwell Street. I would advise you to vote no on this project tonight. Considering what's coming on down the road on I-94 at Marshall, I think we could achieve market value rent at a future time. So this type of logic has kind of been at play for 20 years plus now, and it has not worked. So I advise you to vote no and start thinking private sector, big picture. Albion can be nice, it will be nice, it can afford nice things. Thank you.
Excuse me, my name is Sherry Grice. I live at 812 North Marion Street. I also sit on the Housing Commission. I would tell you, our job on the Housing Commission is to move people on to other housing. We're controlled by the federal government, the state, city. We have a lot to do, but we encourage housing and for people to find housing. Okay, many people for years left Albion to say, I couldn't find any housing for seniors here, or housing I would like here. And we lost a lot of people just because we don't have that senior housing. If you don't have a school, obviously, you got a senior is what you're gonna go at. So I recommend to you guys to really look at that building that people love and do what you have to do. And you'll be surprised how many people will jump on that building. And I recommend Austin School. Okay.
Stacy Stewart, 205 West Oak Street. I would like you to consider the individuals that currently live in Albion and the number of people that do need assisted housing, and whether or not you are in a position to draw additional people from other communities to Albion to take advantage of the max, which I believe is $60,000 per family in this building. So if you get a job at the battery plant, you will not be qualified to live in this new housing unless you and your spouse or yourself makes less than $60,000. So in my opinion, it would be better if it was mixed use of some sort, so that there was some market rate and some low income housing. To me, that would be better suited for the community, to put it in a basket and say this is only for individuals making less than $60,000. It's keeping it in a very low income level, and it doesn't do anything for individuals that just got a job at the battery plant down the street. So just something to consider.
Ms. Short. Thanks. Good evening. My name is Renee Miller. I live at 208 Booth Drive. As someone else remarked, I wasn't going to say anything tonight, but it just wouldn't be me to sit there and not say a word. I would like to encourage everyone on a yes, and this is my reasoning why. I try to sit back and I'll try to look at the big picture. But more and more, as I look across America, we are losing our humanity for others. And I have a problem with that. Yes, we welcome the battery plant. Yes, there's room and there is space to build. I was listening to the president of Albion College, and we have 2 market rates. They've done 2 market rate rents. We're building housing that is kind of priced out of affordable housing all around town. It's beautiful. I love it. I encourage it, but that can't be all. We've already did that. So are we just going to leave out this class of people that need affordable housing? That's not fair. We're losing our humanity. We're just looking at, well, we need to move this thing forward and we need more money. Yes, we need more money, but low income, middle income people, well, low income
And poor people, they pay taxes too. Let's not leave that out. They go to our stores and pay taxes. They pay bills. They spend money around town. Without them, where would we be? So let's not forget about that group of people. I'm a homeowner. I own my home. I won't need to go up there and rent. But that doesn't stop me from advocating for people who do need it. We just can't look at the folks that got all the money and say, well, they can afford it. Where does that leave us? What do we want Albion to look like? And if this is what we want it to look like, then be bold. I want you to look these people in the face when you pass them on the street and tell them, we don't want you in Albion no more. Go find you somewhere else to go. Tell them, be bold, don't just chicken out. Go on and tell them, we don't want you here no more, you don't have enough money. A lot of other cities is doing it, find you somewhere to go. But is that who we are? We've never been that. People come back to this city who's been born and raised here, and the one consistent that you hear is, I love Albion because you guys stick together, you guys look out for one another, and we don't have that other places. Let's not do that, okay?
Ben Pierce, 1209 Edwards. Like everybody else, I wasn't planning on saying nothing. I don't know where I fall on this. But I'm a fourth generation, technically fifth generation. But my great-great-grandfather was born when this was just Sheridan. Born and raised here in Albion. I'm raising a sixth generation here in town. I love this town. The only time I did not live here was when I was hitched. I lived just outside of town. For a living, I work with young people, 18 to 24. I help them find ways forward. This sounds like a stepping stone for these young people that I'm trying to get into work, deal with their mental health, learn how to budget and save, and then go buy a home. In order to do that, most of them need something they can afford. I want them to work here in town. So far, everybody is working here in town. But when they step out of my program, they need somewhere to go. They need somewhere affordable. And if this can be a stepping stone for this next generation of young folks to afford a place to live, even if it is mixed income, and they can step up from one to another and then buy a house. I own a small 2-bedroom home with 2 young boys, and they are outgrowing it real quick. They don't want to share a bedroom. So if I can use this opportunity for young people and see them thrive in our community, and then sell my home and buy another one here in town to a young person who needs a starter home, because that's what it was for me. I guess I just pray y'all make the right decision. Like she said, let's be good people. I live here because this community has been nothing but good to my entire family for generations. I won't trade Albion for anywhere. Thank you. Is
there anybody else that would like to stand in it?
Good evening. Sean Hare, 110 West Erie Street. Forgive me for kind of cheating out. I was raised in an old theater school, so I was always taught to face to everybody. So I'll kind of be brief because I usually don't have much to say unless it's about food or if it's about some stupid joke I'm trying to tell. But this is not really a joking matter. I don't personally see the benefit in the project as it is. Now, that is not to say that, a better system couldn't be found. I just don't know if this particular system benefits the community as a whole. Some of the points that were brought up being about how, it does bring in folks from other areas into the town, which is always good. You want to have more diverse town, but in the same breath, you know, what does it actually do for the community itself as it is? What does it do for our population, you know, who are homeowners, who maybe are looking to go into something different, you know, with their social security benefits and what they make off retirement, they probably don't qualify for any of these programs. Again, I just have really the brief packet and the summaries and everything that I've kind of gone through, but just again, in my personal opinion, I feel like maybe something better could be out there, something more that could benefit the community, you know, to bring people, not necessarily in, but maybe, you know, to bring in more opportunities for those people to take advantage of. Pardon me, that's not the correct word I was looking for, but you know, it's just that I still feel as though Albion has a lot of opportunity for housing. I personally have met many young people who have come in and out of Albion who unfortunately were not able to stay, not because of lack of housing, but because of lack of opportunity for job growth, job placement, job advancement. You know, they want to build a career as well as, you know, a living sustainable situation. So, you know, that's just really my 2 cents on the whole entire thing. I feel as though Albion, you know, could probably do a lot better. I feel like we all could do a lot better, and that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
I also was not gonna come up here, but I am very opposed to this. My name is Daniel Fuentes, 506 East Michigan Ave. Actually the closest house to Washington Gardner out of anybody that was here today. My biggest concern is we have 4 other subsidized housing of some sort in the city of Albion. That we also have a lot of crime that come out of. You could ask the chief of police up here, what kind of issues he has out of these areas. My biggest concern is, we aren't developing the ones we have, or we're gonna take a new one. And maybe let them turn out to the ones we have now, because we're not screening, we're not. Do we want to have one of those in the middle of the city next to the college, possibly bringing home value down? I mean, I have one house near me that has some affordable housing, and I have issues out of all the time. That I've been talked to the PD about, and just kind of like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. That's just that person. But do we develop this and get some of those people into this place? I'm not saying we don't need affordable housing in Albion. I've grew up here for 37 years. I am all for Albion, and I'm getting looks from people I've known my whole life, and I understand that. But I want us to consider that if we have these same issues that we have in the other 4 subsidized housings that we have in the middle of the city, is it gonna look even worse for Albion? Is this also just an easier way out because somebody ready to develop something? College, oh yeah, we got this going. Is there a better option that, as the city council, that you guys can develop and think of, that would bring in more revenue? Because people like me, who is also paying taxes here and it's contributing to the city, has a concern about it. Mr. Frost, you're in my precinct, so I really want you to hear this and really listen to what I'm saying, that is a large concern of mine. I'm not against Albion developing and keeping what made Albion Albion, but my concern is it gonna be developed in the right way to make it look vibrant in the middle of the city, and not let it be like the rest of our subsidized housing or lower income, whatever the verbiage you want to use. Thank you.
Mary Slater, 803 South Superior, and I guess I have kind of a different concern that I have not heard addressed so far, and that is the actual costs of the renovation of this building. I saw the packet and it just had kind of summary figures. But back in 2017, I was interested in that building along with some other people as a mixed use that would include senior housing and maybe a restaurant and maybe a childcare. Some of you may remember that plan. I had Mr. Mitchell, architect, that actually did the renovations on that building many years ago. He came out to review the building with in mind the kinds of things that I was proposing. And he said, you know, it's possible, but not very feasible. So you think about 61 units, 61 bathrooms, those are concrete floors. You have to drill through for the plumbing. Then once you open things up, is there an asbestos issue? And so the packet doesn't really break down all of those kinds of expenses. So that's kind of what one of my concerns. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to stand and address council? So this is probably one of our largest gatherings in several council meetings. So I do want to show my appreciation for all of you coming out, taking time out of your busy schedules to let us know your thoughts and beliefs and opinions. We do take all of these into consideration when we do make our final decision, basically listening to our constituents. I also want to thank you all for being here because this is where you're going to get your information. The truth. I've seen a lot of misinformation out on social media, and it's very disheartening how quickly that wildfire spreads. So coming to council or listening to the recordings after the fact, that's where you're going to get your truth. That's where you're going to get your information that we are all working off of. So I know that somebody said subsidized housing. I think once that word gets out there, that's a cause of misinformation because it's not subsidized housing. And I think that's one of the bigger obstacles that we all need to get through because there's a lot of misinformation that I've seen and heard. So I do appreciate you all being here. We are going to have more discussion on this. But I just wanted to take a moment to show my gratitude for you all being here. So with that being said, we are going to move on. Do I have a motion to approve of the consent calendar items?
So. Support.
In your packets, you have the July 7th study session and regular session minutes, the application for sound permit on August 17th at Kroll Park, and then the Victory Park application for August 17th as well. Any questions or comments on those items? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none. Before we go to the approval, I am gonna make a little change, and I'm gonna give Mr. CJ Phelps the opportunity to come forth.
There's not anything open for discussion right now. What you do is someone needs to
Oh,
move and then
sorry.
approve, and then you can ask if council wants.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So move. Motion to approve.
Is there a motion to support? Mayor Pro Tem French.
I would like, given the emotion carried by this conversation that we're having, the presence of new information as well as new public input, I would like to table this motion until the second meeting in August so that we can gather more information from the community and feel like, and from our developer and from the college so that we can make an informed decision.
You're not tabling the motion, you're tabling the agenda item.
Yes.
We're not on the agenda item, Mark,
Yes.
because we just had a motion for. I guess it wasn't second.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There was no second.
there was no second. That's what I
So
said.
that's why I want to table it.
I got you. But hold on, the motion was for you to call up.
No, the motion was to approve the agenda item, the approval of the second reading of 2025-04.
Copy. If we don't have a second, we can't have the conversation, so we'll have to table it, if it won't be seconded.
So, yes.
Okay, yeah, okay, Mayor and Council, this is really simple. So there was a motion that wasn't seconded. Mayor French then made a motion to table. That motion is now before you because that motion takes precedence. So is there a second to table?
Second.
Now you can discuss table.
So at this point, can CJ come up? Or is it just amongst council?
Well, Now you're on whether or not to table the item. You're not on discussion
Oh.
on.
So we need to vote.
So discussion to table.
Yeah, so we have all been inundated by our precinct members. We've heard passionate pleas for and against. And I'm not comfortable without having further conversations to make a decision tonight. I would welcome our developer to come and continue his presentation at some point. Maybe it's during the public comment or what have you, but I need more time to make the decision. I mean, I was completely blindsided. I thought I knew how I was voting, but no one in my precinct agrees with me. So I need to be getting as much information so that when I make my decision, I have all the correct information in front of me. So some of that is dispelling misperceptions in my precinct. Some of it is bringing hard data to them, but I need time to do that so that I have the support of my precinct when I vote. That's all I'm asking for.
Councilwoman Davis.
The reason I second is because I wasn't here at the first reading. And this is the first time I've seen this, because even though it was here the last time, I understand that it was handed out as it was tonight. So a lot of this really is new information for me. And I too have received a lot of comments and caused a little bit of sleepless nights because I'm getting a lot of input of concern or frustration and all of that. And so I agree, you know, I would like to talk with people in the precinct. I'd like to talk with people in the, in the community and vote, make an informed decision. This was the first time since I've been back from vacation that I've heard a diverse input. I've heard only one side. So tonight I heard more than one side. I heard the opposing view. I heard yes, I heard no. So to vote on something for the first time with input only about 30 minutes. And this is something that is going to impact a lot of people, one way or the other. And so if we can make informed decisions, not knee-jerk decisions, I think it's going to be best in the long run.
Councilman Stewart.
So I'm mixed on this, because I would like to have public discourse. I'd like to talk about this, the pros and the cons, while everybody's here. So that they can hear what we're thinking about. Because there's a lot to this, and there's some things specifically on my mind that nobody said. But it's a really important thing to me. So I would, on one hand, I'd like to move forward with it and talk about it tonight. I was thinking about it kind of bit. But on the other hand, is it an either or can we do both and then table it at a later time, but still have the public facing the conversation on this for transparency purposes?
Councilman Frost.
Thank you, Mayor. If all the information we have here is just in our packs, I think we've got questions for the developer, we've got questions amongst ourselves. If we just table this and then come back the same as we've come back tonight, without being able to ask those important questions, for clarity that we can reflect on and take some time to think about and get some input on, how is it going to be any different? So I would like to be able to ask some important questions or have that opportunity in some other future discourse, so that we have some of these important questions where a lot of this misinformation is coming from, boiled down to something we understand.
Well, CJ's been very responsive. I mean, the emails, the phone calls, so council definitely has the opportunity to make outreach. If your constituents have questions that you want to get answered for them, he's our contact person. So definitely don't feel like you don't have that ability to make contact. But from, my position, very similar to the streets, housing is a challenge, not only for us, but, statewide. Housing is in our comprehensive plan. These are things that we need to be moving towards. And as Dr. Webster said, this is the first developer, along with Zero Day, but you're working with Zero Day, to come forth and propose opportunities for housing and this building. It's gonna be mixed income. So it's gonna be, was it 20, 40, 60, 80? 30, something like that. So,
I'm sorry. Mayor,
can I just finish?
parliamentary procedure, aren't we voting on the thing?
The discussion right now is supposed to be just on whether or not to.
Well, we can't, the discussion, we voted not to have the discussion. And I'm sorry, Mayor, but if we voted not to have the discussion, we can have the discussion.
Well, so right now, the motion before council is whether or not to table the agenda.
And that's.
So your own, so the extent of your discussion should be whether or not you're going to table the agenda item.
And excuse me again, Mayor, because
That's okay.
I just didn't want us to get carried away.
Point of order, that's fine. Mayor Pro Tem French.
So in response to others' desire to have conversations, I'm perfectly excited about the possibility of having a study session. I'm not available on the 4th, but we could have a study session at the end of this week or the middle of next week. Where we can invite public to come. We could get a lot of people. We can use the auditorium around the corner. We could have the developer and his team and others come forward and have a conversation. Members of the community can be part of that conversation. The council will be there so that we can get everything out there on the table and get people's input. And then when we get to the meeting on the 11th, 17th, 18th, we'll be able to make a decision.
Councilman Williams.
Yeah, a study session to discuss a pilot when nobody from the public understands the math behind the pilot.
But that's what.
Is that what we're suggesting?
Or in which.
Because we're
that
not
pilot can be
discussing on the
explained.
use of the property. We don't own the property. It's the college's property. So that's what we'll be discussing.
The reality is that the developer will not buy the property unless the pilot's in place.
Right.
So it's 6 of one, half dozen the other, but yes, the developer hopefully will be there, better be there, and he would be able to explain to the public what the pilot is and its impact on the city and the impact of the development of the city.
Okay, can we just vote to table this and move this
Yeah.
forward, please? And I thank you again. It's just, a lot of conversation.
I appreciate
Councilmember Williams,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Cross,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Mayor Snyder.
yes. I have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-04.
No, that's what.
Oh, sorry.
Just table.
Motion 6200 for the change order of the water systems improvement project.
So move.
Director Kern.
Good evening, council. This is just a small change order. There was some manholes that needed to be raised on one side. And then there was another manhole that had the side that was, the bricks were falling in on it and just needed to be rebuilt. This is on Michigan Avenue between Clark and Mingo. And then there was a fire hydrant that was too short. They had to bring it up. So changes to $200.
Questions for Director Kern?
Always asking for money.
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Cross,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Snyder.
Yes. Motion to approve designated voting delegates for the MML's convention.
So move.
Support.
City manager, is this yours?
Yeah, who's going?
Yeah, who wants to go?
Okay,
It's a designated ones.
so
So when myself and Jim went to the Capcom event, and we kind of had that discussion beforehand, that's why we went. So are you all going or?
So the conference is September 17th through the 19th.
Is that that's
It's usually,
the last time I went, I was 30.
We're not sure about how many people we sending.
I guess what's in the budget. We usually have Director Clark here for that.
We only got this much money.
Yeah, I'm not going. I don't believe staff is.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a few of us, but.
Rely on council to bring back that information.
Yeah, so we get it.
CJ, you interested in going?
Checking my calendar here, but I think it'd be a good opportunity.
Yeah, I think,
I'll be back at the rotation, people who didn't go to the last one.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm perfectly fine.
If you
neither
three
of
are,
us are speaking up, so I mean, y'all got the floor,
if you
please.
three are able to go, then I would make a nomination to have the mayor pro tem as a voting delegate with, on you two as a backup.
Which two?
One of
Well,
you, CJ.
How do you receive?
Oh. Have you been, CJ?
No.
You haven't been to anything?
No, not yet.
I ain't on council for this.
But the three of you would be going, so like if something happened for the Andy, then one of you would be the backup.
So think of it as like, if I cannot fulfill my duty,
No.
like a beauty pageant.
I know what a duty is.
So that would be my motion,
Coin flip.
that Mayor Pro Tem become the voting delegate with Councilwoman Davis and Councilman Frost as a backup.
So move. Somebody else say support.
I don't want to.
Support.
Any question or comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Now, who's gonna do that designate paperwork? Is that me or is that?
That would be Jill.
Jill
Jill.
does that.
Yeah. Jill does
She
that.
takes care of everything.
Well, I didn't want to speak for her. She's not here.
Future agenda items. Is there anything that council would like to see in an upcoming agenda? Councilman Stewart?
It came up tonight, but can we spend some time either in the study session in council to talk again about our strategic plan?
Yes.
Because I don't think we've done that this year. It was germane tonight. We're not really current as a body.
Well, and I think Councilman Williams, you probably sent the link to the comprehensive plan, didn't you?
Yeah, comprehensive, but not the strategic. We should have done the strategic in the spring. It got away from us.
Yeah.
It is about time.
Yeah.
It's every 3 years. Should schedule.
Anything else?
You know, I see parks update. Will that include recreation as well? Just wonder what is happening with recreation.
Yeah, I'll do that as part of my report.
That's a part of your report, okay.
Any other agenda items? All right, seeing none. Public comments? If there's anybody in the gallery that would like to stand and address council, you may do so at this time.
I may be completely out of line, but the next time you have one of these legitimate microphones. Yeah. We can hear anybody sit back here. We can't even hear you guys, let alone England, so to speak.
Marcola Lawler, 918 North Berrien Street. I just want to say, thank you for at least, tabling it so that you can talk to, your constituents and, they can get to know you. I just want to ask my, precinct person if he could at least think about people that have childcare. This will help them. with affordable housing. We could catch the blue oval overflow of living. There's a tax base there. Keep in mind, Oak Meadows is doubling rent to $1,400 per family. $1,400. So, that just to give you something to think about. Also think about the groceries, the high groceries we have to buy here. Ones that can't get to Marshall or, Walmart. Think about our high utility bills. Good old consumers. But, with that being said, just please take some of those things into consideration. Yes, we do have other housing, but this one is affordable, and people that can't afford it, they will be able to afford some other things and move on to something bigger. So thank you so much. You have a meeting on a Saturday, so second and third shift people can attend.
Hello, everybody. Just want to share information. August 5th, Tuesday, we are hosting our annual National Night Out, which is also recognized across the country. Police department across the country dedicate this day to invite the community down to a designated area. For us, it's going to be McIntosh Park. We hosted it there last year and the previous year. We're going to do it again there this year. It's going to be 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We utilize the splash pad, which we think is great to coincide with it. But you come down, meet members of our department, which we obviously have a lot of new members. So it's a good time. We will provide food, a lot of treats, and you can check out their fire trucks, police vehicles, all the equipment we use, get to know us as a department and who we are and any questions there may be. But it's something other departments in the county, they come together and host theirs together in Marshall at the fairgrounds. I just personally, previously Chief Kip and myself both feel that we need to hold our own and make this unique to Albion because that's who we represent. Just want to remind, August 5th, Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m. at McIntosh Park. Thank you.
Gary Brown, South Superior Street. So just two quick comments. So one was just like how that motion was handled for the pilots. I know the city has done pilots before. Having served on council, knowing politics, there could have been a full discussion. There could have been, I don't know if there was a second. So in the future, even if you're against something, it's good usually for the sake of the public to second something. So that you can have a discussion. So there should have been a discussion on that, especially if the developer was here. And I think, I don't know the vote count. Maybe Councilmember French suspecting the vote might not go his way. But I think if people are here, you should have those conversations. Again, because you can still vote, but you've basically forced residents to come back out again, meaning that a decision will not be made at because it's going to be a study session. So
we're not going to.
That's why I literally just said that. So again, even if you have a study session, the decision's not gonna be made there, so people have to come out a third time. So I think it would have been in the best interest of the public to at least second discussion, even if you plan to vote no, because at least we could have heard what the council members thought or felt on that. The other thing is something that Marty said earlier that really kind of touched me is like, Albion's has had economic issues probably since, late 90s. And then since annexation, we've had a lot of political infighting with the loss of the school, turnover in the council, turnover in the role of the city manager. But I feel like what concerns me is what people are seeing is that, and I'll just use an example of it. We want to fix our infrastructure. We want new housing, but we cannot leave people behind. So if we have a situation here, and then while that's going on, you do have a very large developer who has at every turn, even this evening, has benefited from the mechanisms that the city has or Economic Development Corporation has to benefit themselves, right? So my concern is that, going forward, that we don't prioritize basically trying to chase what, like I said earlier, might be hard to get because rural areas are depopulizing, right? Instead of actually attending to and looking out for people who are here, because, you know, even, you know, there's a congregation that was downtown, that's no longer there. And the steeple in their church is fixed and it's great, and it's back to historical, you know, the beauty of what, but people are gone, right? And those are residents. So I think that's the thing, we have to make sure that we balance beautification, economic development with supporting people who have stayed here through the storm. Thank you.
Evening. Shirley Zeller, 702 Borough. I just wanted to bring you a little up to date on the Community River Project that the Rotary Club of Albion is working on, along with the, I hope I get this right, Michigan Stewards Waterway Association. And the city of Albion has been very helpful. We've had a lot of volunteers, and you can now kayak from Albion to the Lake Michigan. So I want people to be aware of that. There's going to be a thank you party on August 2nd at the pavilion in Victory Park at, I think it's around 1 o'clock. So come on down and compliment the people that have been working so hard on it. Jim Seidel has been the chair of it. He's done a great job. So thank you.
I want to thank all the council members, and I just want you guys that go through the process of this program. Y'all are our voice. We are your community. And what y'all decides, it benefits our whole community as one. And as y'all, our city council members, we depend on you guys to be our voice, because we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. And I just want every one of you guys to get out of your community and just hear what we gotta say. Because a lot of stuff going on here, a lot of people don't even know about it. People can help out, can benefit. Just communicate with with everybody that's in your community. And Jim, you bring up precinct 30. I will just knock on my door one day just so we have a conversation, because I'm a very intelligent person. I just want my community. I'm from Albion. I moved away because of the school system. But I moved back because I love my city. And before y'all made the decision, I just want all you just to get together, think about your community. It's not about the states. It's not about the federal. Think about your community. We need y'all or anything. Thank you.
Anybody else like to stand and address council? Seeing no movement, city manager's report.
Yes, Madam Mayor and members of council and members of our audience, Ms. Marcola, please don't leave yet. I need, because of the way the agenda was set up, I wasn't allowed to speak tonight. And I need to set the record straight on where we're at, and how we got to this point. I think this is very important. Obviously, Albion College was kind enough to reach out to this developer who reached out to us. The discussion that came up about the Washington Gardner School was mostly about pilot. And I need to clarify what pilot means. It's the payment in lieu of taxes. So to defend council a little bit, not once in this conversation was income levels ever brought up. What was brought up was the amount of revenue that a pilot would generate as opposed to ad valorem taxes. The other thing was repurposing of buildings. It's not a well-kept secret. We can go across the state, we can go across the Midwest, where we can show where student enrollment has decreased. One, because people aren't having
the children that they once did. So we saw it with Austin Avenue School. I can show you from community to community in every city across the state where there's a vacant school sitting on the property. So then we come up with this term called repurposing. We see it with shopping centers, and we also see it with schools. We might end up seeing it with an example of Westwood Mall in Jackson, where Penny's is the only anchor store left. Point I'm trying to make is that this council has been involved in a discussion of how to repurpose. And then what kind of revenue would it bring in to the community? This was never a discussion about the need of housing for any kind of income level. We're all citizens. We all respect one another. We all want the betterment of our citizens for everybody. I wasn't given an opportunity to speak tonight to this, but when we were approached by this, every council member sitting up here were in a discussion concerning pilot. We've been in earnest discussions about how we were going to try to bring in more revenue from this development. That is what the limits were. I don't want anybody in this room or in our community to think that our city council was thinking about income levels. They were thinking about repurposing the best use of that facility and also about the revenue that was going to be brought in as part of trying to sustain the type of services we provide. So I don't want to use it, well, I will. I don't want any citizen to demonize our city council. I think that they've taken a responsible approach on this. I want to appreciate and extend my appreciation to Albion College, because I can tell you in my 43 years in this profession, I have dealt with developers that you don't want to deal with. I think CJ, Mr. Felton does an excellent job. His firm does an excellent job. And I can tell you that city council will not enter into any agreement with any developer who's going to leave our city in worse shape than what we found it. We're not going to. We're all neighbors, we're all friends, we're all related. That is not the route we're going to do. I want to compliment Dan, our assessor, for giving us the arithmetic to help us establish that. But I just wanted to make that clarification that this was about pilot payment in lieu of taxes as opposed to ad valorem taxes. It was never about income levels. We do want to house and have good housing for all of our citizens, for all walks of life. I wanted to make that clear because I think that that's an important point that might have been missed tonight. So that's what I have. One other thing, we had an excellent parks meeting the other day. Our Parks and Recreation Committee met and we had a 2-hour discussion, gave them a report. I think our parks, and thanks to DPW and our volunteers, I think our parks have never looked better. I think we're strategically putting money. I think Jason's done an excellent job in directing his staff in trying to make it a sustainable, livable community for our citizens. And I'm very proud of that. So I just thought that in your report tonight, you'll see a parks update and very proud of the work that DPW has done in maintaining that. Other than that, things continue. We are working on several other projects, of course, the construction project. And this is going to still take us into next year. We still ask our citizens to be patient, but improvements will pay off. I guarantee you. A year after we open up the streets, you won't even remember. But, well, maybe some of you would have. But we will have a brand new water tower that will be a wonderful landmark for our city. And it will be located adjacent to a brand new industrial park that holds the promise of employing the type of people we had when all of our foundries were open. We're proud of that. And that's what we aim to do, is to try to give all of our citizens the opportunity to better themselves with good wages. So I want our citizens to know that your city council, your planning commission, your staff here are working hard toward that endeavor. That's all I have, Mayor.
You want to talk about the parks or just,
No.
okay. Okay.
I welcome any questions. You know where my office is located.
Any questions for our city manager? All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, we got council member comment.
Oh, sorry, council member comments.
I would just like to say, what, Doug was saying about our parks. I saw the guys out working in one of the parks today, and they have been doing an excellent job of keeping our parks straight, keeping them clean, keeping the grass cut and everything looking nice about it. In fact, to tell you the truth, I've been riding through the parks just because I wanted to see how nice they look. So thank you very much, Jason and the Parks Department.
I wanted to say I had the opportunity to attend the open house for the dam removal project. And I want to say that I thought it was really well presented, and I learned a lot by going through it. And if anybody wants to see what was there, let me know. I took pictures of the panels that they had up there that they were showing. So it was very informative. So thank you to those.
We plan on having more.
Good.
Mayor Protem French.
Doug, will electronic versions of those panels be available?
Within 2 weeks, when our engineer gets back from vacation, I'll try to have them placed on our website.
Excellent, thank you. Getting some people who didn't make the meeting.
Okay.
Councilman Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank everybody for coming out today. I really appreciate seeing all the faces on both sides of the conversation. This thing really needs to be flushed out, but more importantly, understand that if you're from the city of Albion, you are being slowly relocated out of the city of Albion. Expenses are getting higher, and when the Ford Blue Oval plant opens, it's going to negatively impact people who are currently here. We have lost citizenship in the city of Albion, and that affects our pockets as far as the city of Albion and the money that we get from state revenue. We've lost over $1 million in the last census, and we're headed towards losing another $1 million in the next one if we don't do something to keep our people from leaving the city. Feel free to look at the comprehensive plan on the city website so you can see the things that we've already spent money to identify the problems here in town. And go back a couple of years and look at the one before that and compare the two and see what direction the city has been going in. Please come to all city engagements, not just the ones when we're talking about housing. I know the polarizing conversations bring people out, but we'd like to see you all faces more often. And Ms. Grice, I know I've seen you quite a bit, but thank you for coming. You all stay diligent, be safe. Thank you.
Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to echo Councilman Williams' sentiments of gratitude for you all showing up, and also his concerns about where the city is heading and the future that we're all looking toward. I would add that we need to also be focused on looking at opportunities, looking at job creation, looking at bringing in industries that the future will need here for people to want to be here and to stay here, to bring their families here, to raise their children here, to have those opportunities that if, no matter what housing you live in, whether it's starter housing or middle range housing, that you have a future that you can grow to whatever housing you want to whatever potential you need. That's the kind of place that Albion has been and will be. But those are the things we need to focus on, and I appreciate deeply this council's dedication to that task. And I know that it has been a very strange and difficult 2 weeks since our last meeting, but I really appreciate everything that we're considering here, and I thank you all for being a part of it.
Any other comments? We have a motion to adjourn? Support. All in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed? Meeting adjourned, 8:36 PM.